to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists. This is us continuing Cinema Surprise, and we're moving into the 2000s this week with Joseph's final pick of this phase of the season, Memento. Written and directed by Christopher Nolan, based on a short story by Jonathan Nolan, originally premiering at the Venice Film Festival on September 5th, 2000. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. Now, this is, I believe, the fourth, Oh, well, not including the Dark Knight trilogy. I didn't take that into account. Seventh? Seventh Christopher Nolan movie we've covered? There's only a few that, maybe eighth now that I think about it. Holy shit, because we've done Inception, we did Dunkirk, we did Oppenheimer, we did The Prestige, we did the Dark Knight trilogy. Let's see. What did we do anything else?
That's seven. Did we do
That's
Tenet?
7 in this.
Yes,
this is our ninth.
Okay.
This is our ninth.
Wow.
Is there only one Christopher Nolan movie we haven't covered?
Dang, and it's just Insomnia, and that's it.
Well, as far as what I've seen, I'm trying to.
Wow,
I'm about to be blown away. Holy shit!
have...
No, we've covered every Christopher Nolan movie I've seen. That's insane. We've covered 10 because we also did Interstellar in the 52-year journey through film.
Yes, we did.
So that's wild. That's got to be, aside from Wes Anderson, our most covered director. I didn't even think of that. Much more
Wes
spread out
directly,
with Nolan.
You know?
Yeah.
But
we covered all of Wes Anderson at once versus, I mean, it's what? 3 years in the making now that we've finally gotten to 10 of Christopher Nolan's films. Wow. Didn't think of that until just now. Sorry.
No, I think Nolan would appreciate that more. More time spent, you know. He's
we
he's
really
a time guy.
We really spread the love, and we worked our way backwards. We're getting back
true.
to Memento. We started our most recent one would have been Oppenheimer, so working our way back to Memento might mean something. But so you went with this for your third pick in this phase of Cinema Surprise. How'd you arrive at this to be the one you wanted to do?
Well, it was the earlier picks. We were hitting all the totem pole of my top directors that I got, and just my favorite directors. And Nolan is an interesting one to put on this totem pole for me. I love all of his movies so much. Like, there are so many of his movies that I just adore, but I don't quite see him in the same vein as Lynch, Wes, or Spielberg. I think they make movies a little bit differently, and I think Nolan might be. I don't know. He could be like Oppenheimer is different. Like this, he could be evolving quite a lot, and I'm very curious to see what Odyssey will bring. But so far, like all of Nolan's movies, the love that I have for them are like the time, you know, the stories, the twists. The Interstellar is just kind of. I mean, it's my favorite movie of all time.
The Golden Child,
yeah. He's up there, but I don't know. There is this difference that I hold to him, and I just wanted to round out his filmography as I will the other directors as well, and so I figured, you know, why not start it where he started out, see his early goings, and yeah, it's awesome to see how far he has come as a filmmaker, but also like this is a crazy start. Like this is like to just drop this as your first movie is pretty damn impressive. And I think like we talked about with Wes is like we're constantly going to compare it to other Wes movies or compare it to his other stuff because that's what we know. And I think that's what I was doing the whole movie with Memento is I'm comparing it to Tenet and Interstellar and Oppenheimer and it's not. I don't know, not really fair, I feel like, because he had to take this step in order to get to the other movies eventually. So, yeah, having it backwards is kind of fun. A little bit of...
It's also technically not his first movie. There's one that came before it in 99 called Following. And it's only an hour and 10 minutes. It's a lot it's a shorter film by any measure, but it was theatrically released and it was it did premiere at film festivals. So like it is even though it is only 70 minutes, it is a feature film.
Then I guess I gotta go back even.
We got two more we haven't seen, in Insomnia and Following, which are the ones that are immediately before and after Memento. Damn. But yeah, this is really when his career, took on a whole new scale. You know, he got nominated for this movie got nominated for a couple Oscars, for the editing and for the screenplay. Which is wild to consider that Christopher Nolan himself, his first Oscar nomination ever was for writing, not directing, which kind of unfathomable to me now. As far as like just kind of the movies he's made the last several years for a long time. If he writes them by himself, they're always really interesting, but it's never like, wow, that was a hell of a screenplay. You know, like, this one I feel does stand out in that regard. And I think it being based on a short story by his brother, Jonathan Nolan, does help a lot.
Yeah. This, he is kind of a dream team, I feel like, of, just, you got two guys, that can just sit at, I feel like they just, like Sir Christopher Nolan. I picture, them sitting at a table with tea and being just super like, what are we thinking of the story today?
An obscenely large round table. Yes. They are wielding broadswords.
I don't know, big shoes to fill with Sir Christopher Lee. But I don't know. He's well on the way. I don't think he's slaying any Nazis, or any real sword fights. But I don't know. I don't know what he's going up to.
I don't know what he's up to.
Yeah. Who knows? But no, their creative juice is just kind of, I don't know. They love to play with time, but I think it's more of like they just take it super, super seriously. Like where,
right.
In other movies, it might just be like the joke or the gag or just like a MacGuffin, but it's like it is the main story element or like the plot device of like almost all of his movies. And I think that's, I don't know, they love to play with it. And I think we were talking about like how much we thought the story was edited like before they filmed and everything. And I don't know how much this goes to prove that like or how much work they did before, but apparently they have every scene listed. Like there's the black and white scenes and then there's the color scenes, kind of like Oppenheimer, which is funny. And the black and white are factual. Like every time we do see black and white, it is like the true nature.
It's what's happening. Yeah.
So, but those ones are just listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they appear in the movie like that. And if you watch,
they are progressively telling the story.
Yes.
Forward,
And the other scenes, it's always black and white, color, black and white, color, black and white, color. But the order, they labeled them just the letters A through V. But it is not, alphabetical, obviously. So like but I wonder, like having these letters and distinctions in order, I wonder if that's just they did it after the fact and like they had all this, or like it shows that like there was a very clear, like, no, we are going from black and white to color, black and white to color. And then it's like, but the order is like, I don't know, like VUTSRQ, like it's,
it's exact
very,
reverse. Yeah.
Is that actually, oh, it is. So it is exactly reverse.
Yeah.
So literally, oh, wow. I guess in my head, I thought we were kind of popping over and out, like kind of going back and back and, no, it is just like
I'm
a
pretty sure
ping-pong.
we are a steady flow backwards. Like if you watch the movie the other way, it plays out forwards.
Okay, that makes wow.
So that's why I called it in our texting last night. That's why I called it in our texting last night a palindrome, because I mean you said I would love to see it in chronological order. I'm like, I don't know that it changes much. I don't know that it layers a certain tragedy a different kind of tragedy for Leonard if you play it forwards, because he decided to go on this journey at one point. Like that twist at the end that's like he set himself down the path to kill Teddy.
Yes.
Like he started that. He was like, I'm going to do everything I can to kill Teddy. He even tells himself in that moment a bald-faced lie that's like, here's how you can find your way to Teddy and kill him eventually. You won't remember it now, but I'll give you just enough to know that this is all you'll need to remember to do it. So like there would have been a certain nothing but villainous air about him probably throughout the movie, Yeah. And also what I do think is really effective about playing it backwards is that it does create a certain sympathy for Teddy, or for Lenny, Leonard.
Yes. The name
you feel bad for him because you are watching him be used and he's being taken advantage of. And, with the movie starting with him killing Teddy, that things aren't what they seem, like you're not like, well, you obviously aren't getting the actual full payoff immediately to the whole story, something's amiss. And I really, really enjoyed it. One of the things that we talked about off mic last night was that the film is taxing as far as, emotional load. Like it's an intense, dark movie. There's never really any light moments or anything. However, it's a pretty breezy 110 minutes. Like it goes by quick. So I mean, like I think it's really well edited. I think it's really well written, which is what they got the Oscar noms for. I think Guy Pearce is incredible in it. I think he's an incredible lead. I find myself very, very pleased with it. It's an exceedingly solid movie.
Yeah. I don't know, all of the kind of theories the theories that didn't happen, I thought that Natalie maybe have been his wife somehow, and she faked her death, and then he forgot about it, and she just continued on, and whatever. That didn't quite happen. And then I think I had, I don't know, one more that was maybe a little crazier, but you knew, like, at least with Leonard, we don't know. Obviously, there is something to figure out with him. But then it's like anyone who's attached to him. I don't know. We're in a Nolan movie. I think we're primed to also be like, all right, everything isn't exactly what it seems. But no matter what.
Notoriety-wise, like, this movie has a reputation of being mind-bending and twisty, So I think seeing this in 2000... when you don't know Nolan as a filmmaker and you don't know what the movie is going to be particularly versus watching it in 2025 when I've seen 9 other Nolan films. I've watched Jonathan Nolan stories. Like, something different is going to be the case. And I think that does affect the movie. I think that when you watch it in your taking in of Christopher Nolan movies does actually matter, which is wild.
Yeah. It's like we've been through Tenet. We've and Westworld. I think you brought that up, which is a big, that's to have seasons worth of TV of this stuff, and to know just the patterns or what they like to go with is it still is kind of like a with the MCU thing where, like, I don't really care to have it spoiled for me anymore. It is just about, like, how they get there or, like, if it's done well. So, and I think they always succeed. That there's never been a story of theirs where I was just kind of like, really? Like, that's wow. Or, like, it's never been disappointing. Like, Interstellar might be the closest. I don't know. I just don't think I don't know. There's something about that movie that just hasn't clicked, I think, is just what it is. Like, it, but this
you mean
one,
Inception?
Or yes, yes, everything is.
I was like,
with
wait,
Interstellar.
What?
That is.
You really confused me there for a second. I was like, you love Interstellar. What the fuck are you talking about?
I guess. But no, Interstellar. Everything clicked. There's not a single thing in that movie that I don't think I don't know. But no, Inception, yes, is the one that I still think I can love more. But this one, I think is. Now that I know what the movie is, and now that, I won't be so trying to figure it out as the movie's kind of going on as well, and put the pieces together myself, and just kind of surrender to it instead. I think because I didn't really, I don't know. I think he obviously progresses quite a lot as a filmmaker. Like, he's a lot more cinematic later on. But I didn't really, maybe it wasn't, just because of that, I wasn't paying attention to how it looked really, or it was more of just what is happening and where are we in the timeline, and
right. It's a lot of movie to take in. I think it is a solid. It's a solid looking movie. I think he's evolved. Like, whenever it comes to a film like, I don't know, I'm trying to, like, even Tenet is a better looking movie than this, and but there's also the fact that he's just so much. It's hard to compare his grander movies to this because it does feel so small,
Yeah. Budget,
this movie visually does hold itself in a very similar place to me like, I don't know, maybe The Prestige, but even The Prestige has a certain flair to it that this doesn't have. And I think that, and I do think that's just a trust thing. He'd already directed a Batman movie by then. He'd gotten Oscar nominations. He's getting more and more money to do bigger and bigger things. So, I mean, like, this is, and that's not to say that, like you said, this is not a bad looking movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's a good looking movie. He's got a great visual sensibility. And I think that, the black and white scenes are probably the best looking for me. I think it's beyond that, I don't think it's a particularly, ravishing movie to look at. Ironically, some of my favorite shots are actually the Polaroid film camera shots. The shot of Natalie that he takes on the Polaroid might be the prettiest shot in the movie.
Yeah, and he even calls him, I forgot what artist he calls him or whatever, but like
Leibowitz, the photographer Leibowitz,
what a shot, or whatever. But and then even the shot he takes of a Teddy is like, that picture of Joe, like, it was actually like, it's
a great photo. It's a great photo.
Like taking a picture of the person who's passed. I don't know, like the dead husband,
the dead wife trope, which obviously Nolan loves.
It was kind of, I don't know. It reminded me of his picture.
I mean, let's take a moment to appreciate this real quick. Dead wife, Memento. Batman Begins, dead parents, no dead wife yet. No dead girlfriend yet. There will be a dead girlfriend. There will be a dead girlfriend eventually in that story. The Prestige, neglected wife and girlfriend.
True.
Don't think she ever dies. Dark Knight, dead girlfriend.
Dead girlfriend.
Inception, dead wife.
Dead wife. Alive maybe wife in the one world, deep down world, but who knows? We don't fucking.
Yeah, right. Know. There's no telling if I'm pretty sure
suicide. Yeah, I think she killed her. I'm pretty sure
I'm fairly certain she did. Regardless, the whole movie treats her like she's dead.
Interstellar, dead wife.
Interstellar, dead wife. Yeah.
Wow. Tenet,
neglected girlfriend. Of Kenneth Branagh, not of any of the protagonists.
Sad wife. Yeah, that's
sad wife.
Yes.
No, but Oppenheimer, alcoholic wife. So we have a lot of fun wives going in the Nolan cinematic universe. But
Odysseus, does he have what happens?
There's a lot of story there.
Many wives?
There's a lot of story there.
Yes.
But I do think that it's obvious that Nolan's strengths have always been catered to writing men. It's notoriously not incredible when it comes to writing women, and his best women roles have been Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt and Florence Pugh. And I think that this movie, Carrie-Anne Moss, I really, really enjoyed her. I thought that she was a really, really great addition to this cast. And I, not a super developed character, really, really easy to pick up on. I think you recognize pretty quick that she's a problem.
Like, this can't go well. It's like, it seems everything's going a little too well, or like a little too just, oh, you're interesting. Wow, your tattoos are cool. No, I don't, there was something there. But no, she like, just the giving information, or like whenever she just had her bruises, initially. And it's like, well, I think we know where those came from. I don't know. So it was like there's many red flags that are going off in my head, which I hate that they're kind of like going off during the movie and me being like,
no, yeah,
oh,
I wish I could
but,
actually just experience it instead of being like, oh, well.
I know.
I think I know,
So I don't know if I just need to like just take it. I don't know. Take not a Xanax, but like
no, I was gonna say Xanny.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
like,
just freaking...
something that like literally, but numbs all of my thoughts while I watch this. I'm just like, oh, I do think that ultimately this ends up being a really, really interesting movie. I think structurally it's incredibly unique. I think it's him doing Tenet after this is actually astonishing. Like him being like, you know how I told that whole story backwards? What if I told a whole story forwards and backwards at the same time?
And they passed each other, and then they fucking
I mean, like it makes perfect sense. That would be an incredible double feature. This and Tenet. But I do find myself kind of I don't think of it much higher than it's solid. It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's far from my favorite Nolan. And I have a list on my phone, on my Letterboxd, which is my 4 favorites of every year since like 1971. And it's like, you scroll down the list and the top row 71, the next to 72, the next to 73, and it's all the way down.
Yeah.
And it's a great one. And so like the 2001, this doesn't breach that. Which is, Gladiator,
probably...
In the Mood for Love, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. There's just some goodies that I've grown quite fond of. I can't think of the 4th one off the top of my head right now. What is I'm gonna go find out because maybe it is. I don't know.
I'm wondering if I just
maybe it is. I have X-Men slotted in there.
The first,
which is
the
a
original,
nostalgically very very fulfilling film.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, American Psycho, I guess, came out in 2000. I'm not the biggest fan of it.
I've never seen it, so.
Oh, wow. Remember the Titans?
One I've never gotten around to. Never got to American Psycho.
I haven't seen. Oh, Castaway? I haven't seen that in a long time, but that. Wilson! I mean, just kind of a classic. There, I feel like. But yeah. I mean, I think I just haven't seen many movies in 2000. I think
2000 is a pretty thin year for me. I haven't watched a ton of movies in 2000.
But yeah, no, it was, I don't know, I kind of, like, I'm still maybe up in the air a little bit on Sammy, and, I don't know if we can trust Teddy's words 100% at the end of the movie, but I do think, I don't know, you were, like, you had if he was just Teddy, or if Leonard was Sammy the whole time, and Sammy just never even existed, and it was a complete fabrication, like that ends up making more sense for the movie, I think. But the fact that Sammy seemingly actually does exist, and Teddy doesn't exactly say that he was an insurance agent that shut him down. Teddy says, you exposed Sammy for what he was. So in a way, he could be talking about himself. Like he could be saying like, you're exposing yourself, So like there is a world where Sammy actually doesn't exist.
I think emotional payoff wise, dramatic tension payoff wise, the most interesting way to look at it is that Teddy is being entirely honest. I think that for the payoff of the film to be Teddy being like, because important thing to remember is that a lot of people tell him shit throughout the whole movie and go, you're not going to remember it anyway.
Yes, yeah.
I can tell you whatever I want, and that's usually like at that point there's no point in lying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Unless you have an express goal, and clearly this one would not have paid off the way he had hoped because it leads to him dying. So I mean,
and that's I wonder how long. Like, we don't know how long it's been since the accident, or how long. He says
years, I think, at some point. Wow, like, he's like, that was like years ago. So
Teddy has been just using him to kill or do whatever. He says
town after town. We've been, we find all these John G's, and we, it's...
So, but it doesn't seem that like they're just going to motel. Like, is Teddy a little just crazy too and likes the kill or the chase or like what? Because is he a real detective or like is he? Because like he's.
I think he was.
Yeah,
and he might even still be to some extent. You know, like he might be a dirty cop. There's I think that when it comes to Teddy's characterization, I don't know that he's not trying to torture Teddy or torture Lenny. You know, I don't think he's trying to like.
Yeah, it's like a mutual like, okay, I'll let you keep thinking your purpose is active.
Well, because like and don't get me wrong, I don't think Teddy's like somehow a good guy because of this. I don't want you to think that, but I do think that he's just like, well, you're going to be doing shit where you don't remember things anyway.
Yeah.
You know, you are kind of the perfect weapon. You know, like if I want to go and make some fucking money in every town, I find the right person to get, I get them. We make, you know, like even the person, Jimmy that they meet there, he brought a couple $100,000 worth of drugs to that meet where he dies. So I mean, like that is what they do. That is what he wants to happen.
Yeah, because he even in the scene where he kills him at the very beginning, he's like, "Do you want to go in the basement and see who you are?" You know, or like so it's like he's like clearly like even telling him right away, like yeah, like you are. I have manufactured you into this killer, but you know he did decide it initially to kill the first John G. You know, and I think it is interesting that Teddy is the cop that took the case of his wife's assault. So the assault was real. You know, that's not a fabrication of him trying to cover up his eventual killing of her. So like the assault did happen. So like, and the injury of him hitting the mirror is seemingly how he got his memory wiped. So like, so that's the, you know, it's a crazy just coincidence that Sammy and Leonard have the same condition. But I think that's like, that's the you know, beyond, the great beyond, that's the punishment that Leonard is having a bit, if I can.
I'm going to read into something a little bit. Lenny insists that there was a second man present for her assault. There had to have been. And Teddy says we could never prove there was a second guy. Which I think is kind of a layered double entendre in reference to Sammy and Lenny, that there is no second guy.
I see. Or it could have been Lenny or Teddy.
Yeah, right. Like there could have been some sort of other twist where maybe the second guy even was like Teddy or something. I don't know. You know, like and I'm not reading into that at all. But when it comes to the whole Sammy thing, I think that Teddy told himself a story so much that he believed it. You know, the whole movie he talks about how, remember Sammy Jenkins, Sammy Jenkins, and it's a rehearsed story. He tells it the same way every time, like, and you can tell that based off the reaction of everybody, like Sammy, sorry. So when it comes to Sammy Jenkins's existing, if Sammy Jenkins did exist and this is all just cosmic punishment for him being like, it's not physical, so I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt, or you're not going to get covered, whatever. I can get with that. Like, I think that's fine. I struggle to see what is he trying to punish himself by saying, remember Sammy Jenkins at that point? Or is it
remember Sammy Jenkins? And it seems like it's one of the first tattoos he gave himself. You know? It's like, this is remember Sammy Jenkins. And it's like I think he fabricated the lie of the insulin himself, So like, in order to do that, he did have to lie to himself in some way and say that Sammy Jenkins murdered his wife. So I think the day his wife died, or the moment his wife died, he's like, oh my God, I cannot live with this. I will, I'm going to, I don't like, but that's the thing, is that he wouldn't have even remembered that she's dead. I don't know.
Right.
But so I don't really know. But so okay, then maybe that goes to actually prove. I had like whenever it flashes from his wife, him pinching her thigh and then going to injecting her. Or actually it goes injecting her and then to pinching her
into
thigh.
pinching
So it actually goes
into pinching her, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, is Teddy just trying to manipulate the real memories that Leonard has? Because at the beginning of the movie, Leonard has this monologue or something where it's like, memory is unreliable. It can be manipulated. It can be blah, blah, blah. It can be turned upside down. A room can be mischanged or whatever. So I wonder if like pre-accident, he actually has these real memories with his wife and they are actually there. But then Teddy can say something or be like, yeah, no, you killed, I guess Teddy might have fabricated the story of Sammy Jenkins. I don't know. Or like I feel like Teddy is just the actual big bad of the movie. Like
I don't disagree with that. I do.
Villain,
and because here's the thing, is that Lenny killing his wife would have been accidental.
Lenny killing his own, yes, like he would not have known what he is doing. It's
that
not
doesn't
an
make him. That doesn't make him a villain, know. And thereby, like, the thing is that the only thing that could have been true about Sammy Jenkins' existence is that he had the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and he was denied coverage because Leonard declared it a mental thing, not a physical thing. That would be the only thing that was true about that.
Maybe that's why he was denied coverage, possibly.
That's what because the exact same thing that he explains happens to Sammy Jenkins' wife had to have happened to his wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Otherwise she would not have been accidentally killed by an overdose on insulin.
Mm-hmm. And the weird, I guess, like, the assault happens, and then supposedly Teddy is inserted there. He does the investigation. He's like, no, I believed you.
Right.
I believed you. There was another guy there. We investigated, whatever. So then there's some time that passes where the wife is alive and she survived the assault, and then Leonard kills her accidentally. Yeah. So how much was Leonard, how much was Teddy a factor in Leonard's life already, in this? And did they murder John G before he even killed his wife accidentally? When did we know the...
I think it has to be on the other side of his wife's death, his wife's real death, because I don't think there's any reason for him to believe she died during the assault until she actually dies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to your point, when she dies, he wouldn't even remember she actually died. Yeah. He'll be reminded she dies, and that him kind of being able to remember the last thing he remembers is him hitting his fucking head and his wife dying on the floor.
Yeah.
That's the last thing he actually surefire does remember, no matter what. It's reasonable for him to go, okay, that's when she died.
That's true. Yeah.
So like, I don't think he has to be fed that line. Teddy just has to not tell him that that's not true.
Yeah. And then it's like even more fucked up. Did Teddy kill his wife and say that he did, or like fabricated the lie? It's like, yes.
When it comes to Teddy, I do believe that Teddy seizes an opportunity. I don't believe he creates the opportunity. I don't think that he sees a man who is continuously forgetting and is like, oh, what if I did this and I put him down this path. I think that he accidentally kills her, and he goes, okay, I'm going to find a way to make this advantageous for me. Because I don't think Teddy's necessarily a mastermind, because we also watch him try to, like, the end of this movie, which is the beginning of the story, is usually when their time in a town ends and they go to the next town.
Mm-hmm.
Because they killed the guy, they got all the money.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie is Teddy trying to convince Leonard, let's leave. Why are you still in this town? Why are we still here?
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, it's him trying to convince him to go to the next town so he forgets, so that he doesn't eventually arrive at the conclusion that Teddy's a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, like, he is a manipulator, but he doesn't have to be particularly good at it because the guy is forgetful, you know?
Yeah.
Which is why I'm like, I don't think he's some sort of mastermind who managed to, like, kill this guy's wife and then convince him that he did it and, you know, all this, or that somebody else did it. That's why I'm like, when it comes to Teddy's character, I think that it is the best way to look at it. For me, what makes the story best is that at the end, he is being 100% honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess he doesn't have to be it's kind of easy to take advantage of Leonard, you know? It's like,
absolutely.
It's pretty easy to keep him in a trap. I think the interesting part to Leonard is the feeding him the phone calls, the putting the letter under the door, the big file that he has that is all coming from police information, you know? So, like, is every single police record that he actually thinks he's getting is just Teddy coming up with, you know, whatever he wants him to believe. It's not, so it's like well,
and he always, like, I think that his access as a policeman allows him to find, you know, the biggest drug dealer in the area, the person who would have the most liquid cash, which would be unregistered and wouldn't be, like, taxable or anything like that. So, like, if he can find that person and then feed him to Lenny, sorry, them being Lenny and Teddy is really fucking me up every time I want to say one of their names.
It's so hard. I don't know why.
And I apologize. It's been 36 minutes and I have not gotten better at it. He feeds it to Lenny and Lenny goes, okay, well then this is the John G I'm looking for. I know he worked with drugs. I know he did this. I know he did that. He feeds him all the information that he needs to go point him in direction and go find him, go kill that guy.
Yeah. It's so, I mean, it seems that this is a cycle that has been through many times. And yeah, like that picture of him actually after the death of the first John G, you know, is like, that's why, like, I don't know, like that was, I don't know, burned it initially. I don't know. I guess he had the burnt version in his pocket. So that picture would have lasted for quite a while. I mean, it's, that he didn't burn it until then.
Teddy gave it to him at the beginning of this movie, at the end of this movie.
Like, in Ultimate, yeah. Oh, because I guess each town that he goes to, he's got to, like, remove all of his pictures or whatever. He's got to like start them over and have him take a new picture of Ted. Yeah, because why does he have him take a picture? Why wouldn't he already have a picture of?
There's also an interesting thing that happens during this movie where Teddy, whenever he takes the picture of Teddy asks him not to take it in a specific spot and then has him move. And I still don't know why that's the case.
Yeah. I know. Well, that was. I mean, it's maybe the motel is in the background at that point, and maybe he just doesn't want him to know that he's been to the motel before, but that he just knows him, so that whenever he shows up as the cop, you know, it can be, oh yeah, I'm the cop. You're meeting, you know, not Teddy, I guess. Call me, you know, or whatever. So it's like he wants him to forget that he did meet him to be the new town, to start the new cycle again. Which that's true. Like, so there is, I don't know, Teddy is definitely manipulating him every step of the way, that's for sure. And then
no doubt. And that's why I'm like, I guess what I'm saying is that when it comes to the payoff of this movie, the most interesting thing dramatically is that when, this would also be the first time Teddy's ever told him the truth. Is what I take it to be.
Yeah, or the first time he's acted on it. And actually been like, you know what? Okay, fuck it, you know. But I think if he was told the truth, you know, he's the same person, you know.
He would have done the same thing.
Exactly.
You know, that's why I'm like, I think that,
his actions are almost more pure
that's
than
why
anything.
I think it actually is an emotional payoff in some degree, is that he learns the truth about Teddy's manipulating him in some capacity and goes, well then fuck this guy. Yeah. Now this is who I'm after. If I've already got the John G I'm looking for, I'm going to make you my new John G.
Yes, there was apparently a shot. I missed this. But Natalie is like the piece over his heart, or the piece that's missing. He's like, what's that for? And he's like, I guess whenever I get him, or whenever I'm done. Apparently there's a shot in the movie where there is that filled in, and it says, I've done it.
I missed that.
I know, and I wonder, okay, right here. The Polaroid slipped under Leonard's motel room door, shows him pointing at a bare spot on his chest. He tells Natalie it is reserved for when he finds John D, blah, blah, blah. Leonard imagines lying in his bed with his wife. The bare spot has a new tattoo, and it says, I've done it. When he imagines lying in bed with his wife.
That's weird. Yeah, I'm like, so I guess that wouldn't be a literal thing. It would be a, like, whenever he does it, his purpose will be fulfilled, and maybe he can kill himself. Sorry.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah,
I've done it.
Be reunited with his wife in some capacity.
Or, like, no need to keep it going, or, like, I've done it, like, or, like, I feel like you might be able to, I feel like that is probably his, he has a purpose. This is his purpose,
right?
And that is the only thing that he says that is keeping him going. Is like, Sammy didn't have a purpose. He had no reason to keep going or whatever, But me, I have a system. I have a reason and whatever. And yeah, once that's done, yeah. So maybe like, Teddy obviously still the villain, but maybe, Leonard was like, oh shit, he was so happy, and then he's like, wait. Now what the fuck do I... He's like, wait,
right.
Oh, we got him. He's like, oh, shit. He's like, fuck, I didn't...
Now I'm just going to go back to being somebody who doesn't remember every other second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe Lenny, still fucked up, but maybe he's like, well, shit, I'll actually just keep it going for him, So,
no, and I mean, like, that's why I'm like, Teddy, when it comes to his, the villainous thing that Teddy does is have a bunch of people murdered.
Yes, keeping it going,
Yeah.
The fact
like,
that he's like, all right, no, let's go from town to town and keep it going.
Because here's the thing is that, like, what is Lenny gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he needs someone, which is sad to say, but like he needs. No,
yeah, you do need a partner.
Yeah.
Like you need somebody with you who can always be like, here's the deal, here's what we're doing. Just want to let, and like, I mean, that would be taxing on anybody, And eventually I think that would fester into some sort of resentment. And then, like, I think pretty much anybody would end up not doing something like this, I'm not saying they'd be like, all right, now you got to go kill this guy. Okay. But,
yeah,
like when it comes to the whole, like, remember Sammy Jankis thing.
Yeah.
And him remembering Sammy for the purpose of going, I have to have a system.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he at one point did not, and it resulted in the death of his wife.
Yes. It's kind of like his first ultimate reminder of to keep the system going. Yeah.
And to put it outside of himself like that is just, it's so he doesn't hate himself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't, it's Sammy Jankis is real versus not real. I am of the mind that, like, when it comes to the insurance investigation stuff and all that, like, could have happened to another guy, and this is just coincidence, and then it's karmic justice. I see less dramatic tension in that versus him being the person who gets told, it's mental. He was the one who was conditioned.
Yeah.
He doesn't learn, and so on and so forth. And I think what would be ironic about that is that he is eventually conditioned and he does eventually learn. And it's just, that wasn't enough at the time.
Or it's like, Sammy, whether he's real or not, whatever, in this hypothetical, if he, he didn't have like any purpose whatsoever. He was just sitting at home, and that is it, and just watching commercials. There wasn't any actual drive.
That was sad, dude.
Yeah, and like that the commercials were better than movies. He couldn't even watch a movie because it confused him too much. Which, oh my god, yeah. So like, and it occurred like a sense that we have. Why don't we think of experiencing time as like a sense that we like? It is like something that can.
Dude, the line he says, like, that counters the concept of time heals all wounds. He's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do if I don't experience time?
If I don't experience time. That's when it clicked for me. That's when, like, oh my God, I have a sense of experiencing time. And like, that is like something that I guess if I hit my head in the wrong way, I won't be able to experience any, like, holy shit, like memory is almost like a sense, and it's like I don't know, not quite a touch or feel or whatever, but it's something.
It gives you bearings though. Like it does. And I've never thought of it that way. One of the other really devastating parts of the movie is whenever he finds that, I'm assuming a prostitute.
Yes.
Maybe not.
Escort. He finds an escort.
She was an escort? Okay. Okay. I didn't catch the line. I was like, I assume just given the nature of their interaction, it felt very escorty. But him giving her all of her stuff, and then being like, just set it around the room so that when I wake up, I feel like I'm home again.
Yep. He just wanted the bed to be warm, and he needed another body.
And he wanted to feel like she was still alive for a second. Like, oh my God.
But he says to slam the door to wake me up. And like, that's exactly what happened when his wife was assaulted, is a slam in the bathroom. He felt the bed, but it was cold when that's what Lenny says, is that the night his wife died or was assaulted, that the side of the bed was cold. So he knew she was out of bed for a while. But in this case, I guess, okay.
He's not trying to be reminded of that night. He's trying to be reminded of a time she was alive.
So he just wanted to be woken up.
He wants to be woken up so that he can think for a second that she's there.
Yeah. And then, like, I wonder how many times I've burnt your things before, or how I've tried this, and, like, it doesn't work. Like, no matter how much I burn your things, the memories are still there. Like,
that's why I'm like, there's actually a really, really sad romantic about this movie that I do quite enjoy. And that's why I'm like, I think that
a lot of post-thinking, I guess you have to do. It doesn't do it for you super hard. Like, there are those moments, but it is kind of, you got to do it on your own to think of.
Well, and I think that the full story, like, once you realize, like, he's the one who accidentally killed his wife and, all that, like, that's devastating. And the fact that she thought she would be enough, like, that if it was like, that's why I'm like, I gotta think he's the one who got told that. If his wife feels the need to test the theory like that.
Yeah, that's true. It's not even accidental. It's really
she
her
gets
decision.
him to do it.
Yeah, it's because she is the one saying it's time for my shot, or whatever. It's so. I guess it is an accident. I don't know, but it is more of a suicide. Really, it is kind of more of, but also calling the bluff. She didn't quite believe it. She's like, no way.
Well,
she's
and
like,
the reason she doesn't believe it is because an insurance investigator said it was mental, not physical. So that's why I'm like, I struggle to believe that Sammy Jenkins isn't just him.
Because the insurance, no way Lenny was an insurance agent or the investigator himself that was on Sammy's case. That would be a coincidence. Like, that's too much.
As soon as they brought that up, I immediately was like, well, that's paper thing.
And, the wife coming to him, obviously that is his own wife struggling with it. So, like, that scene isn't real. Like, the scene where Sammy's wife comes up to the insurance agent, because Teddy even says, Sammy didn't have a wife, So there was no wife to kill. Like, this is a complete fabrication for you.
Now, the other side of that is, how does he know that?
How does Teddy know this?
Yeah. And how does Leonard?
No.
How would he know that the wife went to an insurance investigator?
Oh, he does have that memory. Oh, he would actually have that memory.
He would have to have created that. That's why I'm saying
there's a lot of Teddy has to be manipulating his real memories, I think. And that is what is changing him so much, is that, like, he is like, Teddy's the one that I think, I don't know, made the fabrication up of Sammy. And, like, maybe I think Teddy is the second person, and he was a dirty cop or something, and this is something that he was doing. He got caught up, but then he was like, oh, golden ticket with Leonard, so I can get out of this free. I have to leave the town anyways, and I have a killer that I can do anything with, and he needs to find a way to, maybe, I don't know. I wonder if the wife truly died that way, or maybe Lenny. Yes, no, I don't know. The wife, maybe the wife isn't even real. I don't know. He has to have had like the wife is real.
Yeah. That's why I'm like,
but
there's only so much we can do in the whole, like, what's real and what's not. Because at some point,
post-assault,
a lot of it has to be real or else the movie doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, in the context of what is emotionally happening to our main character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If at the, like, so that's why I'm like, it very well could be that Lenny got karmic justice in some capacity against his, against the whole, like, it's a mental thing, not a physical thing. Thereafter, I don't know why he would have killed his wife accidentally with the insulin. So it's just,
I think we know, at least fact, up until the assault happens, everything Lenny if Teddy can manipulate his real memories, then we don't know any, then actually nothing is actually super concrete, because and
if that's the case, I'm just far less fulfilled by the movie.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I guess
like
Leonard altered his real memories. So there was a real memory that was altered in some way.
That's why I'm like, is there any chance Leonard just told himself a story so much that he began to remember and believe it?
Remember Sammy Jenkins, yeah, but then he just, it makes what would make sense to me is like his wife dies or something, or during the assault he's taken into the station, whatever. He has his condition. He's in the hospital. They tell him, "Oh, we've seen this one time before, and it was Sammy Jenkins." That's how the name popped up, or like that. So I feel like it's. I don't know if Leonard. I don't feel like the insurance thing. He was the insurance investigator on him. That feels like a manipulation.
There's a lot of times too when Teddy goes, yeah, insurance investigator, sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times whenever he's like, yeah, whatever. He dismisses it and is like,
you're an investigator. Yeah, sure. That's
and he says something about that's who you were, not who you are. And he says that a lot.
Yeah. Man, so. Because if he is the legitimate agent that did shut down Sammy, but I don't know, that the line of Teddy just saying, "You expose Sammy for what he really is," that's a very vague way of, putting the situation. And it could be, you're exposing yourself for who you really are, or... And
that, I think that is the most, again, as far as a payoff, the most interesting dramatically is that he is talking about Leonard himself. Like, you exposed him for who he was, which is a fraud. And we see that because Leonard immediately continues to lie to himself. Regardless of whether or not, I don't think that's strictly about the condition. It's about how he's handled himself with the condition. It's like you lie to yourself to create your own world, and now you believe it, and you are you've exposed yourself for a fraud, kind of.
But the condition states that you can't form any new memories, so it's only what you had before, up until the accident, and then that's the person you are. So I guess it has to be in just the actions he takes, and the way he's conducted himself post accident. Which, it's like. I feel like, in a way, there's no way, or there is no way that Teddy could get his wife to make that decision on her own, or to be like, okay, I'm going to call your bluff and I'm going to have you inject me with things. That is his wife making that decision,
Yeah, because there's also no reason to believe Leonard would accidentally have done that on his own. The timer has to go off. He has to be reminded to give her the shot. That's not something he remembers to do.
Yeah. So that, his wife kind of calling his bluff, I think that seems to have to be a real event for things to pay off,
Okay, and she could be calling his bluff because, and I'm going back to if Sammy Jenkins was real, if he was the insurance investigator and he did deny the claim on the grounds that it was mental, not physical, she could have known he arrived at that conclusion for someone else. and was like, if you insist that it's mental, not physical,
yeah, like not even you.
let's really,
Like,
I'm going to
put
call
it
your
to the
bluff
test.
then,
Like,
you know, like,
this is the
and
real
it would also
test.
be like, you've witnessed this in someone else. I'm calling bullshit, you know, like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know,
even thought, nah, there has to be something. You're there. There's something there, you know, or like the familiarization in his eyes. But
well, and he also
then-
insists, he's like, I never said he was faking it, you know, like, and that's what Teddy insists he did, you know, like, you exposed him for the fraud he was. You said, like, you, and he's like, I never said he was faking it, you know, like, all that stuff. It's that's why I'm like, I really do, I do enjoy the movie. I appreciate that it, allows me to go a little crazy in the theory department. That's always fun. And I like open-endedness. I do enjoy, upon reflection, think of this movie much more open-ended than I felt as soon as I watched it.
Yeah.
When I watched it, I was like, oh, well, okay. I get it. That's it. It's all the other, like, trying to connect that, like, cause I think I might even be overcomplicating it in my mind looking back. I think that as I watched the movie, I thought of it as rather simple.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was like, oh, I get it. You know, I was like, cool. And then we talked about it a bunch and I was like, maybe I don't. I'm like, maybe I don't fucking get it. Cause I guess I had my interpretation and I was like, it's Bible. That's what happened. And then you threw a bunch of different ideas at me and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's fair. I guess I could see that.
Right after
and so
Chloe, you know, or Cleo.
Cleo,
it was like, it's all about perspective. I thought that's a very nice movie to have before this, is that I think there are multiple ways to look at it. And since there is memories being manipulated, we don't know if it's exactly Teddy or if it's Lenny doing it, you know, but it feels like there's a mixture of both. Being done there a little bit, I feel like, and there are memories being tampered with, no matter what, and even Leonard says that himself. He's like, yeah, memory is not reliable. You have to go on the facts, and his facts, are, you know, completely fed to him anyways by Teddy. So it's like nothing that we know. Like, technically everything in the movie you could say is like up for manipulation or up for whatever, but no, I like it. Obviously, if they're going for the emotional payoff, it is, yeah, Teddy did take advantage of him, and Lenny finally made the decision to, even if he's still lying, at least the action will be, this is the only way he knows to kill him, you know, to just continue on the path to kill him. And so it's like, but then, you know, what does happen after this? That is an interest, you know, what does he do now that he doesn't have, does he just continue on to the next town himself already looking for another John G, or like because he does kill Teddy, you know, we see that happen, you know, but then
yeah, like, that's where I'm like, what happens after this?
Jail?
What is he even capable? What's he needs to be pointed in a direction in a kind of fucked up, sad. I mean, like, he's probably going to go to jail, right?
Yeah. I mean, he can't drive around the car. The car is not his at all. And that was, you know, the outfit he was wearing, or whatever, the truck that he drove up to the place. You know, they've probably been from town to town before, so this wasn't his original car, you know, sort of thing. But it would have been interesting to see what his original car was, I guess, or to see, like, if he did have money before, if he was truly the insurance, you know, or if they had, like, a life of, well, no, I guess we did see their actual home, and it did, I don't know, her book was run down, I guess she read it over and over, but that was just her doing that, you know. I don't think their life was actually one of poverty, you know. It seemed they were well off, but yeah, it is like, I feel this is Inception. There's not really much. I feel like I can just maybe appreciate the craft of the movie more, or there's not really more of the twists that I think will do me more or better for me. But this, I feel like can benefit just so much greatly on rewatches, and just the more I think about it, the more like things will just crystallize. It's not something that I think is gotten completely on the first go around. I don't know. It is
Right.
like Tenet. I was lost on the first watch. I remember I was just like, "What the fuck did I watch?" I mean, it was entertaining. I'm like, that was. I mean, I think I sort of get it, but I did not get the movie whatsoever on the first watch. So I feel like it is. I don't know. Maybe it is just a. And I love that movie now. I honestly didn't even like Tenet. I feel like on the first time, I'm like, I could. The sound was weird. I don't know. Like there was just a lot of weird things to me and that were off. And then the second time I watched it, I'm like, why was I so harsh on this movie? I don't know, or things. So I'm curious on what a rewatch would do. But yeah, I mean, that's maybe why I like Nolan so much is that I can always return to his movies. Like it is. Other than Dunkirk, it's kind of the anomaly. I don't know. It is the one that I don't really have any desire to really watch again, even though it was a beautiful and great movie. Like I don't want to deny the craft of it, but it's just kind of one that I don't know. I don't feel the need to go back to. But and Interstellar, yeah. Oppenheimer, yeah. Tenet, Dark Knight, all the Batmans. It's like yes, I will return to these movies and I think this is one of them. You know, it is when I want to go on some crazy I don't know time warpy I don't know. It is a little taxing, sure, but you did say it's breezy. Like it is kind of a nice. It is fast to kind of go through, and maybe the structure just does help with that. The back and forth, and
right,
and you are just on the I don't know. The gas pedal is just kind of always on, but. Yeah, it's but definitely still of Nolan's movies. Yeah, I don't know, bottom 2 or 3 right now, or like or like 4. Yeah, it's like it's a weird placement for it right now. So I don't know. I think it has more potential to rise than Inception does. That's for sure. But yeah, right now it's bottom 4 for me. I only have Dunkirk, Inception, and Dark Knight Rises below. It right now, but yeah, I like Batman Begins. I don't know, Batman Begins and Prestige. I do have above. I do like those. So, but then yeah, the top 4 will never. I don't until Odyssey comes out.
Immovable,
we'll see, but I don't know. I mean, Odyssey. Yeah, I think he is cooking with something. I don't want to get my expectations
he's cooking with gas
too high,
with Odyssey,
oh my
man.
God.
That movie's gonna be sick.
I mean,
I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah, and more wife drama. More very, very manly movie. It feels like though. Is I don't know, a lot of men, I guess, just in the trailer, and that's
bunch of dudes. It's a Nolan film,
you know. I guess that's it is what he's good at. He knows, he recognizes he's not good with the ladies, so he makes pretty I don't know dude movies. I feel like fellas.
Yeah, he's for the boys. No, I'm you know, anybody can enjoy a Christopher Nolan movie, but he's definitely better at writing dudes than he is women.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked the movie a lot. I'm glad to have crossed it off the list because I have always wanted to get around to it. It's I still can't believe that I've watched 10 Christopher Nolan movies and we've actually covered all of them. That blows my mind. That's
didn't even mean to.
Speaks to
we didn't do it.
It wasn't even part of the point. We just happened to get around to all of them, which is, you know, that's a strength. You know, I got to say that makes his movies very conducive to discussion, which I think is that's always a plus. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about Memento. Do you got anything else?
Well, at least not right now. I think it will have to wait until the next time I watch it, or just another day spent thinking, or week, you know, or however long you need. But no, yeah, I
love it.
That's where I am now. But
okay, cool. Then I'm going to do the plugs. We're going to rate Memento on a scale of 1 to 10, and then I'm going to announce what is the final movie in this phase of Cinema Surprise Season 2. So let's begin there with the plugs here. The Cinementalists here. Leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. Subscribe on YouTube if you'd like. We've been doing really, really well. August was one of our best months ever. September's doing well. And we'd like it to continue, that trend to continue. You know, it's steady work over here. It's growing a little by little. And we appreciate everyone who's tuning in. Share it with anybody who who likes movies. It'd be a great deal of fun for us if we had a few more people chiming in telling us, hey, you should cover this, you should cover this, you should cover this. We actually get like plenty of comments on YouTube, ironically, that are like, would you guys mind covering this? Stuff like that. It's fun. I like hearing from you guys, and I do take that into account. I'm always planning with stuff like that. So I appreciate the input, and I'd like to hear from you regarding what you think we should cover. But yeah, leave a 5-star rate and review. That would help a lot. We are also doing Twin Peaks Fire Pod with me. We are currently about to move into the Missing Pieces, I believe. And then after the Missing Pieces, we'll be back into the Return, Twin Peaks Season 3. So, we've got a lot to look forward to. Am I wrong, or is the next week, is the next one?
Up the calendar. Looks like next Monday is Fire Walk with Me. We just
next
finished
movie.
Season 2.
We just finished Season 2 last week. We've got Fire Walk with Me coming this next week. Another movie coverage over there on Twin Peaks, Fire Pod with me. If you've never watched Twin Peaks, it's the podcast for you. If you have, it's the podcast for you. It's friendly to the first-time viewer and the rewatcher alike. I'm rewatching it. Joseph is watching it for the first time, and it's a lot of fun to kind of listen to him go wild. You heard a lot of the Memento discussion. There's even more of that kind of discussion over on Twin Peaks, and it gets mystical. It's a lot of fun. Love Twin Peaks. Regardless of whether or not you want to listen to a podcast about it, you should watch Twin Peaks. And then if you happen to want to listen to a podcast about it, we've got episode by episode coverage on Fire Pod with me. Let's see. We are also doing Geek with Me. Geek with Me. We are currently doing bi-weekly coverage of both Alien Earth and Peacemaker Season 2. And I got to imagine Alien Earth is getting close to wrapping up, if not wrapped up. Next week is the last 2 episodes of Alien Earth. So if you've been watching Alien Earth, if you were a Cinementalist listener, we covered all of the Alien movies before we entered Cinema Surprise, and that was in anticipation of Alien Earth, and that show is finally about to wrap up here. So you can go ahead and listen to our coverage of that over on Geek with Me. Peacemaker Season 2 is about halfway through its season. We covered the halfway mark earlier this week, and we'll be covering episodes 5 and 6 the first week of October. So got that to look forward to as well. I'm also writing a lot on Substack. Look up Colton Robertson, look up the Cinementalists, and you'll find me writing about movies. I'm having a great time over there. A lot of movies coming out right now, and a lot of them getting covered. So you can go ahead and check that out. We can't record an episode on every movie that's coming out. I can do my best to write about as many of them as I can. So, we got that to look forward to as well. So check that out. Subscribe. I would appreciate it greatly. Let's rate Memento. How are you feeling about Memento on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yes. Well, I placed it on the good old just directors list that we had going, and it did fall below Phoenician Scheme already. So I think that there's already a ceiling, and I think I was already there. Anyways, that's an 8.75. I don't think I was quite up there.
I wasn't at a 9. No.
Yeah, no. So that's good. But I think I gave it the 4 on Letterboxd. I wanted it to be a 4.5. I need more 4.5 movies. If you look at my ratings, I almost have a perfect gradual increase up to 5 stars, but I have this one random dip in 4.5 stars. It bugs the fuck out of me. So I'm looking.
But you can't do it.
I'm looking for these 4.5 movies. But no, it didn't. It couldn't quite get that other half. So I think around 8 does feel just kind of nice. It is not quite the Phoenician Scheme, but I don't know. I did have a good time, and I know I will come back to it. So I know it's
right.
Yeah, but
I know I liked it more than Close Encounters, which was the first movie we covered in the project here, and we were pretty nice to that for how much I didn't like it. So I'm comfortable with an 8 for Memento. It's a good movie, I'm confident in that, regardless of how much I loved it, which is to say I liked it. I didn't fall in love with the movie or anything.
Hard to connect with someone who forgets it, this is quite the singular condition or a niche.
No, it's very unique, unique. And it's, but it's good. It made for a really, really interesting movie. And I think that's the strength here is it's structurally sound and very compelling. I want to know what's happening, and I kept watching in service of that, so I gotta I got to give it credit where it's due. So I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Yeah. All right. I like that. No math needed. There. Anyways, I agree with you. I'm right there with you. So, a flat 8. That'll do. I mean, yeah, it's
80% on the Cinementalometer. We love those. We love those. Man. All right. So, for those who don't know, Cinema Surprise isn't technically ending next week,
Yes.
Because we are moving into October, and therein we are going to be doing a slightly tweaked version of Cinema Surprise, where it's all October, all horror, all Halloween type movies. So, next week isn't the official end of this season, but it's definitely the end of this phase. And that's why it's hard for me to commit to something right now. I'm split. Kind of in a similar boat that you were. You had a bunch of different decades on the table. And I gave you the advice that with the horror stuff, our October rule is that we are not doing anything post 2000. It's all 20th century. It's all 1900s, somewhere in there. Wherever, I mean, in that whole 100-year range, you have a very wide variety to pick 2 movies, each during that, which is hysterical. But, might be our October tradition going forward. I think it might be the safest way to go ahead and spread the love as much as we can. So I need your help a little bit. I've got a 2010s because that decade is still available to us.
Yeah. 2010.
I've got a couple 50s.
Ooh. Okay.
And I've got a 40s.
Okay.
So very wide variety because we got 60s, 70s, and 80s. For some reason, I'm leaving out the 90s. I don't know why. There's so many movies in the 90s that we could absolutely cover. I think it's because I've already kind of pre-established one of my horror picks, and it is a 90s movie. So it's kind of like, I know I'm going to get a 90s piece of the pie. So I'm like, maybe I avoid that.
Let's see. I mean, we've got 70, 80, 60. What, Yeah,
We've got a 20s and an aughts for the 2000s era, which is why I'm like, do I just want to round that out and do a 2010s, or do I want to climb further back with it and continue to grow that backwards?
I see your struggle, because to round it out, we would do one newer movie, but I don't know if. The thing,
and the other thing is that they're all suitable conclusions.
Yeah,
like
it
would
is
be
a 2010 movie. I feel like it is a pretty good 2010 movie.
It's a really good 2010s movie, and I don't think you've seen it. I'm gonna double check that because if you haven't seen it, it might seal the deal.
Okay,
and I don't think you have. If you have, we've never talked about
2010. Yeah, I guess it could possibly just not be on Letterboxd, before a certain date. Just whenever I started, but I don't know how to without spoiling.
It's not on your watch list, and it doesn't appear. It's in the watched by category of my friends. So 2010. Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's a 2010s.
Okay.
It's a 2013 film. So here's the years. I'll give you that. 2013. 1958 and 1959. Those are like the real, and 1945 is the other one. I'm leaning less towards that. It actually has a lot in common with the Phoenician scheme, and I don't know how similar I want to go with that.
Wow.
And I also don't know that one's available anywhere, so that's another complicated thing.
I don't know why this new one is screaming at me, though. I thought I was going to go the older, but it's kind of screaming at me.
I like your excitement.
Yeah.
I like your excitement. I'll tell you what my 50s ones were.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're classics. I feel bad passing up on them because people are going to be like, Jesus, those are the movies you decided against. Vertigo by Alfred Hitchcock.
Damn.
Okay. Very, very good movie. But I don't, that one is the least suitable conclusion, I think. I think that the ending isn't conducive of like the end of this phase. 1959, Some Like It Hot. You were tempted by a Billy Wilder movie. Yeah. That's my favorite Billy Wilder movie ever. I love Some Like It Hot, a great Marilyn Monroe movie. Great film. Yeah. Great film. Super funny, super light. It wouldn't have been super intense. But I'm going to go with the super intense one. 2013 is, we are not going to end it lightly. And we are going to end it with another director that I know you like.
Okay. Let's see.
We are going to end this phase of Cinema Surprise.
I don't know.
With 2013's Prisoners by Denis Villeneuve.
Oh, yes, you've talked about this movie a lot.
Yes, I really, really enjoy Prisoners. I think it's
okay,
cool.
Yet. Okay. Okay, yes. Oh, I've seen maybe one. Does he beat the shit out of some, or like Hugh Jackman go a little hard?
Yeah.
I think
there's
that's
a lot of beating the shit out of someone.
I've seen.
Hugh Jackman, Paul Dano, Terrence Howard, Jake Gyllenhaal, Viola Davis, incredible cast.
Yes. Okay.
Incredible cast, great movie. It's really fall. It's a really seasonal movie too. So I think that like it being the last movie of September heading into October, it's a fitting time. More fitting would have been November, but regardless, it's all good.
Thank you for reminding me of Denis though. I feel like when I'm making my list of favorite directors, I maybe just because
I know he's on there for you.
Yeah, it's more his recent stuff, that's for sure. Sicario,
Arrival, and then both the Dunes and Sicario. It's a solid 4 there. This could be my favorite Denis, and that says
Arrival?
a lot.
Okay, Arrival is my favorite. I think. Well, Dune 2 is kind of. It's more the theater.
Yeah.
But if I had to, I don't know, one movie to watch for it might be Arrival. Out of his. But okay.
Arrival is definitely probably the one I would return to the most. I'll say that.
I got to be in a mood. I got to be in the Dune mood. I feel like to go there. But
dude, the Dune movies are so. Regardless, Denis Villeneuve is an incredible director. Prisoners is one of my favorite works of his. And I think it might even be his most complete. So that is what we're going to cover next week to conclude this phase of Cinema Surprise. It also is kind of a good primer for the Halloween season because it's not scary, but it's definitely a thriller. It's definitely got a lot of vibes in that direction. Sorry if you can hear my dogs going absolutely ballistic on the hardwood upstairs.
Hey, they're excited for Prisoners.
They're excited. Yeah, no, they're loving. They're excited for Prisoners next week, baby. So we got that to look forward to. But I think with that, we can conclude this episode of The Cinementalists, and we'll be back next week with Prisoners.
Yes.
I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, we all lie to ourselves to be happy.